hydrating serums. In this video, we're going to be talking about our favorite hydrating serums. Now, you don't necessarily need to use a hydrating serum in your skincare routine, but I've personally been using them quite a bit lately. I love the way that they feel on my skin, and we've reviewed hundreds of them, and we're going to tell you our top 5.
Right, so these are the most refreshing, lightweight, hydrating serums for your skin. We're going to tell you which ones are our favorites. Let's go.
Here we go. So I'm going to kick it off by saying, when we talk about hydrating serums, what role do they really fit in our routine? Now, the truth is that a lot of times your moisturizer, especially if it has any level of occlusive, emollient, oils, or any type of humectant like glycerin or hyaluronic acid, they're going to do the bulk of your moisturizing for the skin. Now, where these hydrating serums come in is that they, a lot of times, are going to be lighter weight. Sometimes people are not going to use a moisturizer in their routine, and some people like that lightweight hydration. And on top of that, they tend to be a really good base for layering makeup and sunscreen on top of it. And so they still fill a role. They're not going to be like a VASELINE in the sense of preventing transepidermal water loss, but they do give you that extra kick of hydration.
So actually, it's this time of year, we get a lot of comments. Do I even need a moisturizer? Do I need a lotion or cream, whether it's a hot, humid environment or whether you just have oily skin? And that's actually where these step in. If you are one of those people due to the environment around you or just you, your skin probably could still benefit from some hydration, some improved skin barrier function, some improved health, and that's where these will fill that void.
Serums tend to fit in that lighter weight category, and so they would go before your moisturizer, they would go before your sunscreen, they would go before your makeup. Now, common question that I get is, how do you use this if you're using a vitamin C product, a vitamin C serum? So generally goes that you apply your vitamin C serum first, because it tends to be the more finicky ingredient, allow it to dry and settle into your skin, and then follow with your hydrating moisturizer.
Yeah, so no science to this, no perfect formula, but in general, that's the way you'll do it. Cleanse, vitamin C hydrator, or just cleanse, lightweight hydrating serum, doesn't much matter. Now, what we have for you is a smorgasbord, word on screen please, of, mostly because I don't know how to spell that word, of different types of hydrating serums. Now, some are just simple, cost-effective, hydration, moisturization, refreshing. Some have a little bit of a bonus, but really their primary function is going to be restore the skin. Most of your active serums, the ones containing your retinols, the ones containing your other active ingredients, your vitamin C's, those are off the table for today.
So I'll do one, then he'll do one, and then I'll do one. We would probably agree on a lot of these, to be honest. So I'm going to kick it off by starting with the Snail Mucin from COSRX. And you think to yourself, well, this is not a hydrating serum, but it is. And honestly, it truly is. So this is one of my favorite products. This is the Advanced Snail 96 Mucin Power Essence. And I'm not going to lie to you, when I first heard about Snail Mucin, I thought, no way, I'm not falling for this trap. But when you use it on your skin and you see how hydrating it is, especially compared to like a traditional serum, it's kind of like hyaluronic acid meets glycerin meets Ectoin. Like your skin just feels so hydrated, and it's a long-lasting hydration on the skin. And this one has really stood the test of time for me. So when I first tried it, it wasn't this product that ended up back in a drawer for me. It ended up going through 1 bottle and then 2 bottles and then 3 bottles and continuing to like it. Now we have a whole review on the science of Snail Mucin that you can find on our channel and why we endorse this type of ingredient in the first place. Now, these aren't made in the most humane ways, I would say, because even if the snails are treated humanely, you are, cultivating them to release mucin in the end. And so it's not a vegan product by any means, but it is effective, it is hydrating, and I'm going to show you what the Snail does. So I don't know if we can see this on camera, but there's very few things with this level of hydration and with this staying power. And it's very non-irritating for the skin.
Extremely non-irritating. It's so well studied. The data backs it up for sensitive skin, healing skin. So Snail Mucin, one of my favorite all-time ingredients. Also something I wanted to dislike, ended up loving over time, and I use this regularly. It's probably the most commonly applied product before we shoot videos. If I'm feeling like my skin looks a little flat and dull, I'll slap on some Snail Mucin. I did it today, actually. So it really is a tried and true product. So mine, I'm gonna save, I think, my hidden gem for last, which I know that half of you aren't going to see, but so you're missing out. One of the most interesting ones is this one. It's the beauty of JOSEON calming green tea and Panthenol. So I am a sucker for green tea. I'm obsessed with this ingredient. It's so soothing. It's such a good antioxidant, and it also does a little bit of oil control. It's just so good for the skin. It might be my favorite antioxidant, although I'll flip-flop between that and maybe ferulic acid. So this one is 50% green tea water, like Camellia sinensis water. That's the first ingredient on the product. I love that. I also love like a green tea toner that's like mostly green tea, and then Panthenol amazing hero ingredient for the skin barrier, but it's that hydration that really hits, and it's just such a soothing product. And it's also a little green. If you don't know this, I am also a sucker for colors, but the body of this, it's actually pretty rich. So it's like not sticky, not tacky, but it's very full and just settles in like thick water, if that sounds at all refreshing.
Yeah, so not sticky at all, not tacky, sets into the skin really nicely and gives you that nice cooling, hydrating feel. Plus, it's loaded with a lot of great ingredients. And if you've tried products from Beauty of JOSEON or really any Korean brand, the elegance is really hard to match. So my next product, which I don't have in front of me right now, but it's a product that I love. It's on my counter at home. I use it every single day. It's the ABIB Jericho Rose Bifida Serum from ABIB, which is a Korean skincare brand. And I've really never heard anyone else talk about this, but it's one of those products, it's more of like a milky hydrating serum where you apply it and your skin just feels immediately calm afterwards. And Bifida is one of the best ingredients for people who have sensitive skin. And again, this is a Korean skincare brand, so the textures are just hard to match.
All right, so funny that you should mention this because I have a product in my pocket that I wasn't sure I was going to talk about, is like on the cusp. This is NUMBUZIN's #3 Skin Softening Serum. And the reason it almost didn't make the cut, and it kind of didn't, so I'm just throwing it in with his, is this first ingredient is Bifida ferment lysate. Second one, galactomyces ferment filtrate. And there's such value to these probiotics, postbiotics, prebiotics. These are actually probably more technically, who knows, one of the three. I forget. But they do so much for the skin barrier, and this serum has a great aesthetic. It also just calms the skin immediately. It's incredible. I was just thinking like maybe that's too much of an active ingredient, more of like a skin barrier than hydrator, but I completely agree with his train of thought. I was right there with him, just a different product in mind.
Okay, yeah, and these are different. This one is more of, this is actually true, like the NUMBUZIN one is more of like your traditional like HA glycerin serum. The one from ABIB is more of that milky serum. So I don't really delineate, you know, we did a whole nother video where we talk about how like serum versus toner versus essence are really just marketing and trying to describe the texture of the product. When I think about this, I think, you know, kind of hydrating serum, and it definitely falls into that category for me.
Okay, so this one, this is like my elegant pleasure, not quite a guilty pleasure because it's not expensive enough to really warrant a guilty pleasure, but this is BIOSSANCE Squalane Firm and Lift Dual Serum. You probably can't see, but it is separated in space and time. We have this non-emulsified water and oil concoction. You are supposed to shake it actually before you
Maybe we can show you. So what you see here is it's an oil on water, and then you shake it, and then you get these insane little bubbles inside of it. So there's really very few products that are quite like this, and this type of experiential element somehow sends me across the edge.
So the key component of this, of course, is the squalane. That's what BIOSSANCE is known for, sugarcane-derived squalane, highest quality. Then you have glycerin, then you have HA, you have Ectoin, you have different types of oils that are good for the skin, and it's just like elegant. This is like I don't know how to describe it because it's like a skin oil, but it doesn't leave you oily or greasy. It just sets so nicely because squalane absorbs deeply. It naturally does that. And then the other combination of oils and ingredients also just like very, very deeply hydrates the skin. Like a lot of brands piggyback on the term deeply hydrates. This one deeply hydrates. So if you're someone who's like very dry skin and really just wants to elevate that to another level, really just like restore your skin barrier and moisture, love this serum. I think it's a hidden gem that no one's talking about.
Yeah, it's a beautiful serum, and it really just feels so good on the skin. Like if I didn't know better, I would think this was a Korean product because it just feels that good. So we love BIOSSANCE. You know, I feel like it doesn't get as much love as it probably deserves lately, and I think they have incredible products. And I would say right alongside that, their copper peptide hydrating plumping serum is also another phenomenal underrated product that we've talked about a few times now. So I'm gonna round out mine by cheating a little bit here. And it's because I feel that hydrating serums can do more. And hydrating serums can serve an extra purpose. Because when you think about actives, I think about the risk of irritation. I think about maybe an ingredient that doesn't play well with other ingredients. But I do think a good way to pair your hydrating serum is a serum that is both hydrating and also delivering a peptide. And so I think this is where this product comes into effect, and I've been loving this brand a lot more lately. And you know, I've sort of learned, like, I don't really know much about like the origin story of this brand or anything like this. I believe it's a Singapore-based company, but the more products I try for them, the more that I like. This is there, and the only real holdup from recommending it more often would probably be the price point. I think it's a little bit expensive, very expensive, I would argue, especially their growth factor serum. But this is a really nice serum. This is a copper tripeptide and Ectoin advanced advanced repair serum. So Ectoin is really where you're getting that hydration from. You're also getting some other hydrating ingredients in this formula as well, but you also get that compounded effect of this acetohexapeptide, aka arginine, and you also have 2 forms of different copper peptides in this formula. And so a beautiful blue serum, gunk in the cap, which is interesting because I used it earlier today. I was also like dying. I was like looking all over my house for this product the other day and I could not find it. But a beautiful blue hydration serum. Let me kind of show you this up close here. See if we can capture it properly. So you see that beautiful blue, and that's from that copper peptide in there. And that's kind of how you know it's at a good concentration as well. And it's super hydrating. It's a super hydrating formula, plus it's delivering those copper peptides into the skin. And so I might look like a Smurf right now. Who knows? But if this wasn't so expensive, I definitely recommend it more often. And so I'm cheating a little bit here by adding this to the list, but it's a product that I like a lot. I believe we have a Doctorly discount code that we put in the description on this one. Still only saves you 20%, but at least gets you a little closer there.
Yeah. This one's my guilty pleasure. So that other one from BIOSSANCE was my elegant pleasure. Allies of Skin is my guilty pleasure brand because it is just straight up expensive almost all the time. But Dr. Shaw brings up a good point in that, you break the rules with a purpose or just be deliberate, which we've said on this channel for years. And do you have to have a hydrating serum that's only a hydrating serum? No, you absolutely do not. You can find a serum that has some active targeting your skincare goals, and peptides are always a perfect complement towards anything hydrating and healing because they're so gentle. So yes, just get a serum and you'll probably have some hydration alongside it. And we do have an honorable mention that's the opposite end of the spectrum, our OG favorite, Vichy Mineral 89 HA Serum.
Now this is the flip side. This is like 11 ingredients, simple formula, hydrating serum, high molecular weight hyaluronic acid. Honorable mention just because it was like one of the first products we ever reviewed. We've mentioned it 100 times. You all want to see newness. But again, this is a product that Dr. Maxwell somehow got in a mega size. I don't even know where he got this
I think I got that one in France.
But this is a phenomenal formula. And the reason is because a lot of hyaluronic acid serums use a mixture of low molecular weight and high molecular weight, or sometimes only low molecular weight. And those have their benefits because they can get deeper into the skin, but they can be pro-inflammatory for some people. And the higher molecular weight, the one that doesn't penetrate the skin, the one that sits on top of the skin, is just gentler. It's more cushioning to the skin. It's softer on the skin. And this uses a high molecular weight hyaluronic acid. And it just, the way that it feels, hard to describe. I feel like it's lost a little bit of its hype, and that's because there's so much newness to get excited about, but it is still a phenomenal formula that I definitely stand by.
Yeah, me too. So still an all-time favorite. One of my go-tos if I just want some refreshing hydration. And yeah, simple formula. It just does what it does and does it well. I'm trying to figure out where I got this from, and yeah, it's not in English, so this one is definitely some I got in Europe. Every time I go to Europe, I get like some goodies.
All right, so that rounds out our top hydrating serums. There are so many more that we probably missed. There's probably hundreds more that I've tried and loved, so I'm actually a big fan of this category and probably don't talk about it enough because I do feel like in a lot of ways it's not like a necessary step in your skincare routine, but I still love them a lot and personally use them in my skincare routine. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know which are your favorites below, and we'll see you in the next video.
We'll see you next time.